Greetings, Kimberly here, and I wanted to share something with you. I did an interview on October 23rd with Michael Maloney, who is one of Robert Kiyosaki's Rich Dad advisors, and we were discussing his book that came out in August titled Investing in Gold and Silver. And here's just a clip, and if you're interested in listening to the whole interview, just go over to the YouTube info page here on this video, and I have a link to the full hour interview that you can download and listen to. It's the whole version that I recorded. I'm not going to be putting it all on to the radio, which isn't going to run for another couple of weeks anyway. So I thought I'd share it with you first. Enjoy, let me know what you think, and here you go. I think it was probably over a year ago that I interviewed Robert, and he was promoting Invest in Silver, consumable commodity. Things have changed in the last year.
Yes, but at the same time, right now, there's something I call the gift from God. The price of gold and silver is currently being manipulated. I know it sounds conspiracy theory oriented, but this time there is hard evidence in the Commodities and Futures Trading Commission's reports that show that three big banks have gotten together and sold futures contracts, which is shorting gold, to the tune of $7 billion to push it down to these levels. And two big banks sold so many silver futures contracts, it equates to about 3.7 years worth of silver that is delivered to investors. They sold that quantity in just 5 weeks. Futures contracts are just IOUs to deliver gold or silver someday. It's not gold or silver that exists.
Mm-hmm.
And it has pushed the price of gold and silver down, created a tremendous opportunity, but at the same time, because the markets are being manipulated, the free market system in precious metals is not working. There's something called the price discovery mechanism, where price always puts supply and demand in equilibrium. If the demand for something increases and there's not enough supply, price will increase to reduce demand to match supply or to draw out more supply. If there's too much of something and not enough demand, price will fall until there is enough demand, until it's so cheap that everybody buys it. What's happening with gold and silver with this manipulation, and this is a secondary fact that sort of proves that this is a manipulation, is that there's plenty of fool's gold on the market. There are futures contracts, options. You can buy exchange-traded funds. But when it comes to real gold and silver that you can hold in your hand, it's drying up everywhere. Across the entire country, where the precious metals dealers are running out of physical and having a very tough time getting it. I sell gold and silver also, and I have about 15 items that I normally carry, and right now we can only get one. It's like this across the entire country. All the dealers are running out and having a tough time. And it's because, with these low prices, the investors that have already accumulated their position, they're not willing to sell.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no secondary gold and silver coming to market, and that means that the only source is primary production from mines. So it's been one interesting time to be alive, I'll tell you that.
On many fronts.
Yeah, the wholesalers say they've never had a situation where they can't get it, and the wholesalers I talked to they started back in the 70s. They have never, this is the very first time since the 70s that they could not get gold and silver.
Can I ask you a personal question?
Sure.
We have money invested in the stock market, and it sounds to me, from what I've been hearing you say and from going through the book, that we would be wise to put that money into gold and silver, even though that it's dropped.
Well, I can, and you can put this in the interview if you would like. I can tell you that I have been purchasing gold. I take all my profits, and I still buy gold and silver today. I started buying gold and silver in 2002. I became fully committed by 2003. I started dealing in gold and silver in 2004. In 2005, I started writing a book, and I opened a precious metals dealer, and I committed my life to it. I am 100% invested in the precious metals sector. I don't have anything that is not invested in the precious metals sector, including my business, all of my efforts, the book, and my holdings that are expanding continuously. And believe me, when you're invested in gold and silver, you really sleep well at night. Mm-hmm. And when financial disaster happens, terrorism, war, you go, so what? Bring it on. It's good for gold and silver. Mm-hmm. So it's this rare moment where the safest asset class that has been wealth insurance for 5,000 years, every second of the last 5,000 years, gold and silver have been the safe haven asset.
Right.
It's this rare moment in history where, and these go by as in a blink of an eye, where the safest place to be is also the asset class that has the greatest potential gains in absolute purchasing power. And that's what happened in 9 years of the 70s, a couple months in 1934, various times throughout history. When gold and silver are revaluing themselves, the gains in absolute purchasing power are massive.
Okay.
And, I think you're going to see Ben Bernanke. There's going to be the threat of deflation sometime or another. His greatest fear is deflation. You have to read his essays. It's a book, The Essays on the Great Depression by Ben Bernanke. And, actually, don't read it. He's a lousy author.
I'll just trust you on this one.
It's boring. It's my job to read it and then sort of describe it in more exciting and simple language. But his greatest fear is deflation, and a deflation can happen at any moment when people file bankruptcy or go into foreclosure. The currency that sprung into existence when they signed that loan or when they signed those credit cards now goes poof back into money heaven, and the currency supply of the planet contracts. So if you have a massive wave of bankruptcies and foreclosures, for instance, from people getting trapped in their homes with negative equity,
which is very possible right now.
Right. That would scare him into possibly overreacting and printing us into a hyperinflation, which things like these helicopters, I think that this $700 billion helicopter drop is nothing but a down payment. Mm-hmm. That I hope you're still recording.
I am, actually.
Yeah. It's nothing but a down payment. There's going to be more. There's probably some more bad financial news just around the corner. I think they'll try and suppress things, and they'll keep the price of gold and silver down until after the elections. Then things will start blowing up again. If they hadn't suppressed the price of gold down so that when Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Lehman Brothers going belly up, and a $700 billion bailout, when that news came out, if gold had been anywhere near 1,000, I think I said this before, it would have been on the news every night. There would have been a mass exodus out of gold, out of the dollar, and into precious metals like the world has never seen. The dollar would have probably fallen 50% on what's called the U.S. dollar index, meaning that all of our imports would have doubled in price, including energy. So you'd have $5, $6 a gallon gasoline at the gas pumps. All of the foreign central banks that are holding dollars would have lost half their purchasing power, and the world financial system would be in absolute chaos. It would have been financial Armageddon. So by manipulating gold and silver down and scaring people out of it, gold fell from 1,030 to 735. Right now, we were just down at 720 yesterday. I haven't checked it today. But they're once again trying to scare people out of gold and silver.
Okay.
Like I said, there's hard evidence on this.
All right.
But it's an opportunity. It's a gift from God. Take advantage of it because it's not going to last.
All right.
So.
Thank you so much, and this has been fabulous. So I hope you don't mind if I use some of this on YouTube.
Go right ahead.
Okay.
Please do.
Well, you heard what he had to say. You be the judge. For the full hour interview, look over on the info page here with this video, and there's a link that will take you to be able to download the full hour interview with Michael Maloney through an MP3 file. Enjoy. Let me know what you think. Sending love and light your way. Have a good one.